Discover the incredible moment a little girl healed a billionaire's son. No medicine, just heart. Emily raced through the sun-dappled park, her laughter ringing like music. She was a whirlwind of energy, the warmth of the summer day igniting her spirit even more. But her laughter faded as she spotted a boy, Alex Thompson, alone on a swing, staring blankly at the ground. Something about his stillness tugged at her heart. Emily was not one to ignore a friend in need. Curiosity piqued, she bravely approached. "Hey! Why are you all alone?" she called, her voice bright and cheery. Alex glanced at her, surprise crossing his face. No one ever spoke to him like that. Their two worlds were galaxies apart, his lavish life filled with toys and privilege, and hers marked by hard work and scrappy joy. But here they stood, side by side. Emily introduced him to her favorite games, teaching him the joy of catch and the magic of chasing fireflies. While they played, she noticed the way his face, once clouded with worry, broke into a smile. It was a light she wanted to see forever. "Do you want to come over for dinner?" Emily asked one day. Alex hesitated, doubt flickering in his eyes. He lived in that grand house on Main Street, would her mother accept him? She assured him, "You're gonna love my mom's mac and cheese." As they sat together, blending both treasure and modesty, he shared stories of his grand home, and she told tales of their humble life filled with laughter. They forged a bridge across the chasm of fortune and misfortune, their friendship blooming with every passing moment. But then, an unexpected storm rolled through their lives. Alex got sick. The doctors were puzzled, losing their battle against a rare illness that seemed to pull him into darkness. Every night Emily prayed for him to get better, her small fingers clasped tightly in hope. She watched his family retreat deeper into isolation, citizens offering sympathies from afar, but never truly breaking through the walls that wealth had built. Determined to help her friend, Emily rallied the local community. She gathered supplies for care packages filled with favorite snacks, notes of encouragement, and love. Emily's heart raced, each donation becoming an emblem of their fight. It wasn't just about Alex anymore, it was about tearing down the barriers that divided their lives. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. As Emily lined up the community at the Thompsons' door, their hearts entwined with love, she felt a weight lift. When Alex's mom opened the door, it was as if they were all suspended in time. Would there be understanding, or another barrier to cross? Emily stood there at the precipice, a handmade gift clutched in her small hands. It was just a simple drawing, a colorful treasure depicting two friends running through the park, with hearts swaying like the branches above them. Clarity washed over her. Could her innocent love transcend everything? But would her effort spark the healing of bitterness between their families, or would it reignite fears that kept them apart? A world of uncertainty loomed, waiting silently as their fate hung in a delicate balance. The door creaked open, revealing Alex's mom, her eyes wide with surprise. She glanced from the gathering of neighbors, to Emily's small, earnest face, and then back to the drawing in Emily's hands. The moment hung heavy in the air, everyone was holding their breath, anxiously waiting to see how she would respond. Hi, Alex's mom said, her voice wavering slightly. "What is going on?" Emily stepped forward, her heart pounding. "We brought this for Alex. It's a drawing I made of us playing in the park. I wanted him to know we care." Her voice, though soft, held a firmness that made it clear she wasn't backing down. The crowd murmured softly, their collective hope and concern hanging between them like a fragile thread. Alex's mom hesitated, her expression shifting from surprise to something resembling hope. She opened the door wider, inviting them in. "Thank you. Alex is having a tough time. As they stepped into the luxurious home, the contrasting weight of Emily's simple gift and the monumental wealth surrounding them was stark. The walls were adorned with expensive art and photographs of Alex's achievements juxtaposed against the sheer warmth radiating from the homemade drawing in Emily's hands. Emily led the gathering into the living room, where they set down their care packages. "We all made these for him," she announced, her voice rising with excitement. "Each one is filled with stuff he likes, the snack he loves, games, and even notes that say why he is great." Alex's mom's eyes glistened as she looked at the mismatched, colorful packages created by their little community. A spark of gratitude ignited within her. "I appreciate this more than you know. I didn't realize how much support we had around us." Their act of kindness rippled through the room, drawing Alex's mom closer to the group. One neighbor spoke up, "We just want Alex to feel connected again. This illness has isolated him, but love can change that." Emily felt a swell of determination. She turned back to Alex's mom, "Can we see him? I bet he'd feel better if you let us visit." Alex's mom hesitated for just a moment, then nodded slowly. "I think he would like that. He loves company. He just hasn't had anyone around for a while." As they climbed the ornate staircase, Emily's heart raced. Could this actually work? Would they break down barriers that had stood for so long? When they entered the room, Alex lay on his bed, looking frail but peaceful. The sun streamed through the window, framing him in a warm glow. Emily approached cautiously, holding the drawing close to her chest, feeling suddenly shy. "Hey, Alex," she whispered, her voice a soft melody in the quiet room. "I brought something for you." His eyes fluttered open, and for a moment, he looked confused. But then recognition washed over his face, and surprise brightened his features. "Emily? Is that really you?" Before she could respond, she rushed forward, placing the drawing on his blanket. "I wanted you to know that everyone cares about you. We all miss you in the park." Tears formed in Alex's eyes as he took in the vibrant colors of the drawing and the sight of his friends gathered around him. "You guys really came for me." His voice, a faint whisper, was thick with emotion. In that moment, the walls began to crumble. Emily saw the faintest flicker of hope igniting within him, a tiny spark against the overwhelming shadow of illness. But just then, the atmosphere shifted again. A distant echo of Alex's parents arguing filtered through the walls, reminding them all that not everything was right. Would their newfound connection be enough to break through the skepticism and fears that lay deeper within their families? Emily's heart sank. Would they be able to push through the limited understanding of their worlds? Could love truly heal the wounds created not only by illness but by years of separation? A cloud of uncertainty loomed over them once more. How could they bridge the gap when the battle ahead seemed insurmountable? Alex's room was filled with an odd mix of sunlight and shadows, and for a moment, time felt suspended. Emily watched as Alex blinked back tears, his vulnerability laid bare. It was a raw, real moment that knitted their hearts together. I can't believe you're here," he stammered. "I thought everyone forgot about me." "Never," Emily replied, her voice steady despite the tremors of anxiety in her chest. "We miss you so much. You're our best friend." His gaze flickered towards the window, where the world outside continued on, blissfully unaware of the heaviness pressing upon his heart. "I used to watch you all play from here," he admitted. "It felt lonely." The word lingered in the air, heavy as a stone. Emily felt a twist in her stomach. She glanced at their friends, all desperately trying to project positivity, their smiles strained with worry. This wasn't just about playing again. It was about healing, both for Alex and for the friendships that had been strained by sorrow. "Do you want to see what we brought?" she asked, trying to shift the mood. "We made you some special snack packs. There's your favorite chips." And just then, a loud thud echoed outside, causing Alex's mother to glance sharply toward the door. The argument between Alex's parents had escalated, the sharpness of their voices piercing through the fragile connection they were trying to build. Emily bit her lip, torn. The atmosphere was shifting back to heavy. She wanted to break through, but fears and doubts loomed in the air like storm clouds. "Is everything okay?" she asked, concern wrapping around her tone. Alex shrugged, his expressive eyes sliding downcast. "Not really. They fight a lot. I wish I could fix it." His admission hung in the air. How could a kid be burdened with such heavy thoughts? Emily couldn't imagine feeling so helpless. "You don't have to fix them, Alex. You're allowed to just be a kid. We'll be here for you. Together, we're stronger, right?" He gave a weak smile, the kind of smile that flickered like a candle. "Together," he echoed softly, and Emily felt the warmth of hope surfacing again, ready to push back the shadows that threatened to creep back in. The argument grew louder. It wrapped around them like storm winds as voices clashed behind closed doors. Emily's heart thrummed in her chest. What if this was too much for him? "Maybe we should go," Emily started, her heart sinking. She wanted to stay, but the environment felt charged, as if love and pain were battling for dominance. But before she could retreat, Alex reached out, clasping his fingers around hers. "No. Please. Don't leave. I want to talk to you guys. You make me feel safe." Her heart swelled with courage as she squeezed his hand back, a lifeline in the chaos. Around them, their friends nodded in solidarity, their presence a strong anchor amidst the tumult. "We're not going anywhere," Emily promised, buoyed by his resolve. Just then, a dramatic silence fell, the arguing just audible enough to be uncomfortable. They all exchanged glances, the weight of an invisible barrier pressing down on them. "Do you think they'll ever see what this means?" whispered a friend, breaking the tension. Alex's response was a thoughtful pause, and then he murmured, "Maybe if they see us, they'll realize we're still here. We can shine some light in the dark." Emily felt the power in his words. Would their friendship truly radiate enough to shine through the cracks of their families? With a renewed sense of purpose, they stayed as a united front. But just as hope sparked like a fire in dry grass, a loud crash echoed from the hallway, causing them all to jump. The atmosphere shifted dramatically. "What now?" Emily muttered under her breath, terror curling around her heart. What could be happening now? As the tension built, something deep inside her stirred. Was this the moment where everything both shattered and transformed? They would soon find out. The silence that followed the crash felt suffocating, as if the very air had thickened with dread. Emily's heart raced, thumping loudly in her ears. Alex's grip tightened around her hand, and she could feel his fear radiating through their connection. "What was that?" whispered one of the friends, her eyes wide with shock. Alex's face paled. "I don't know. It could be my dad, or my mom." His voice trembled, and for a brief moment, Emily saw the walls he'd built around his heart begin to crack. She glanced at their other friends, who mirrored her concern, their expressions a mix of fear and determination. They all cared for Alex deeply, and the urgency now radiating from him pushed them forward, as if urging them to confront whatever lay beyond that door. Before anyone could even think about backing down, Emily took a deep breath and stood. "Let's check it out together," she announced, her voice steady even as her insides churned. Alex hesitated but nodded slowly, drawing strength from the unwavering solidarity of his friends. As the group tiptoed to the door, another crash echoed a louder, more violent sound that sent Emily's heart racing yet again. She felt a mix of apprehension and an unexpected urge to protect Alex. The hallway stretched before them, its shadows seeming to pulse ominously. With every step they took, Emily felt her legs turn to lead. But she couldn't let herself falter now, not when Alex needed her. When they reached the door, Emily placed her hand on the handle, glancing back at the others. In that fleeting moment, she spotted the flicker of fear in their eyes. "On three," she whispered, feeling the weight of their collective apprehension. 1, 2, 3. With a swift turn of the knob, she swung the door open. Inside, the scene was chaotic. Alex's mother had fallen to the floor, surrounded by broken picture frames and scattered books. She looked up, eyes teeming with anger and distress, while Alex's father stood frozen in the doorway, fist clenched. A tense silence fell over them like a thick fog. "Mom!" Alex shouted, his voice cutting through the tension. Fear turned to urgency as he rushed forward, his small frame seeming so fragile against the backdrop of adult turmoil. Emily felt the others shuffle behind her, their expressions morphing from shock to determination. No one was going to allow Alex to face this alone. "It's all right, we're here," she called out, stepping beside him, voice steady despite her own quivering anxiety. At the sound of their unity, Alex's mother looked up, her expression muddled. I didn't mean to," she began, but the words faltered in her throat. His father sighed, and for a moment, exhaustion replaced the anger that had lit his eyes. We're both under so much stress. I don't want him to see this." "You can't hide that from him," Emily spoke up, surprising even herself. It felt important to bridge the gap, to remind them of what they were truly fighting for. "He needs to know he's not alone." Alex looked up at her, confusion mixing with hope. "Are you guys really okay with being here?" Always, one of their friends chimed in, moving to stand by Alex's side. "You're our family, and families stick together." As the weight of their words hung in the air, Alex's expression shifted. Hope flickered on his face, tentative yet real. Maybe it can be okay," he whispered, almost to himself. The room felt charged, the tension causing the air to vibrate with a strange sense of possibility. Could they really be the light cutting through the shadow? But just as that thought began to take firm roots, a loud, desperate cry echoed from another room, a sound so full of pain and despair that it sent shivers down their spines. What was that? Emily froze, her heart skipping a beat as her mind raced. Alex instantly turned pale, the color draining from his face. That sounded like my sister. Emily's heart sank. What was happening? What would they all have to face next? Alex's face turned sheet white. The world closed in around him, the air growing thicker with each second. "We have to help her." His voice was sharp and edged with fear. Emily took a step forward, her chest tightening. "Let us find out what is going on," she urged, moving past the chaos of the room and into the hallway. Each footfall echoed with urgency, the uncertain thump of hearts keeping time as they approached the other room. "Stay close." Alex called over his shoulder, and the group fell in line behind him, their determination ablaze. Emily could feel the heat of their fear mingling with the adrenaline pulsing through her veins. As they reached the door, a gust of cold air slipped through the cracks, whisking across her bare arms. Emily hesitated, her hand hovering over the doorknob. The sound of muffled crying wafted from inside, a delicate melody of despair. It was like the sound of shattering glass, a cruel reminder of fragility. With a firm push, Alex yanked the door open. The sight that greeted them was an explosion of colors and emotions. Alex's little sister, Lily, sat huddled on the floor, her tiny frame shaking like a leaf caught in the wind. Toys lay scattered around her, but that didn't seem to matter. She was lost in her grief, tears cascading down her cheeks. "Lily." Alex's voice broke, and he dashed forward, kneeling beside her. Emily's heart ached at the sight. Lily looked so small, so vulnerable. It was clear that she had been trying to cope with the chaos around her. "Why can't they just stop yelling?" Lily whimpered, clutching a faded teddy bear that had seen better days. Her face was scrunched in pain, and all Emily could think about was how unfair it was for such a young girl to endure so much heartache. "Lily, it's okay." Alex reached out, brushing her hair back from her tear-stained face. "We're here. You're not alone." Emily knelt beside Alex, hoping to join the comfort he offered. "Lily, we're all here for you. We care about you," she said softly, feeling the old weight of her own fears beginning to shift under the tenderness of the moment. But Lily remained distant, her eyes clouded with confusion. I just want Mom and Dad to be happy. Why can't they just stop fighting? I don't like it. The truth of her words hung in the air, heavy and piercing. Everyone knew floundering parents weighed on their children, but hearing it come from Lily's mouth felt like a punch in the gut. Emily's heart broke for this little girl, navigating a storm she couldn't comprehend. Sometimes adults forget how to be happy, Emily said quietly, hoping to provide some semblance of assurance. But you, Lily, are the light that can help guide them back. You're so important. Lily looked up at Emily, uncertainty flickering in her eyes. For a moment, the room held its breath, waiting for a response. Will you help us show them? Alex added, his voice warm and filled with hope. If we can all stick together, we can remind them of what love feels like. Lily blinked a few times, a small spark igniting in her eyes. I can try, she whispered, her voice a fragile thread, but stronger than just a moment before. Suddenly, another loud crash reverberated throughout the house, shaking the walls and sending them all stumbling back. Fear gripped Emily's heart once more. What was that? She gasped. The urgent cry of family strife echoed once again, demanding their attention. Would they be able to navigate through this chaos together? As the friends tightened around Alex and Lily, uncertainty still lingered, but so did an ember of determination. Could this little girl truly heal the rift her parents seemed stuck in? With breaths bated and hearts synchronized, the group started to prepare for the next step. Would their courage be enough to break through the chaos that threatened to tear them apart? Emily's eyes darted to Alex, who was still kneeling beside Lily. There was a fire in his gaze, a mix of determination and heartbreak, and she could sense the urgency thick in the air. The crash had rattled them all, but it wasn't only the noise, it was the very real fear that hung over them like storm clouds. Stay together, Alex urged, his voice steady but strained. They moved as a unit, stepping into the room beyond where the chaotic echoes of their world crashed against the walls more loudly than any physical thunder. The atmosphere felt electric, every heartbeat amplifying the impending conflict. Lily, let's think of something we can do, Alex suggested, his voice gentle, like a lifeline thrown to the sinking. Maybe we can draw or write a letter for Mom and Dad, something that tells them how we feel. Lily's brows furrowed, skepticism rising in her small frame. Do you think it will work? She asked, wiping her tears with the back of her hand. Emily placed a comforting hand on Lily's shoulder. You have a strong voice, Lily. Sometimes, just letting people know how much you care can really help. And when they see it's coming from you, it might remind them of what matters most. Lily looked away, her gaze locked on the scattered toys, her mind a whirlpool of thoughts. For a moment, it felt like they were caught in suspended animation, time stretching as they waited for her to decide how to respond. A loud thud echoed again from the house, sharper this time, pulling them from their thoughts. It seemed to echo not just in the walls, but deep within their hearts as well. I can't, Lily whispered, her small voice trembling. What if they don't listen? What if they keep fighting? Alex inhaled deeply, glancing over his shoulder as if the chaos outside the room could hear them. What if we start together? You won't be alone. We'll be right by your side. Nodding, Emily added, and the way you feel is important. It matters. Let us get the crayons and paper. Maybe that little effort could open up a world of healing. Lily's eyes searched Alex's for reassurance, and slowly, that spark from before began to glow again, flickering with cautious hope. Okay, she whispered, I'll try. With newfound resolve, they gathered supplies, pulling a crumpled notebook from the edge of a cluttered desk, along with a box of crayons that had seen better days. The once innocent expression on Lily's face transformed as she began to scribble, each stroke releasing a bit of the burden she carried. Should we write I love you? She asked, looking up at them, her eyes shining with a mix of uncertainty and courage. Yes. That's perfect. Emily replied, her heart swelling with pride. As time moved slowly around them, they shared words, crayons flying across the pages, drawing pictures and writing messages of love and connection. For every crumb of doubt, they sprinkled in encouragement. Lily's laughter bubbled up, a soft harmony rising above the discord in the house. But just as the room filled with light and laughter, another crash echoed through the air, this one more intense. The ground shook and the walls felt like they might crumble. Emily's heart raced. What is happening? She gasped, the camaraderie of the moment overshadowed by dread. Lily shrank back, the brightness in her eyes dimming as she looked to her brother. Alex, what is going on? We need to confront this, Alex insisted, the fire within ignited once more. We're not giving up on them. We will show them that love is stronger than noise. Without thinking, he stood tall. The resolve in his posture sent a wave of strength through the room. Let us go. We're not just going to let fear take over. We're going to help them remember what it means to be a family. As they glanced at each other, a shared understanding sparked. This time they were a team, ready to tackle the unseen storms unfolding just beyond the door. With Lily in the lead, small but fierce, the group braced themselves, hearts pounding as they stepped out into the uncertain chaos, ready to bridge their fractured family. What awaited them could change. Everything they knew or perhaps bring them all closer than they ever thought possible. But as they hesitated by the door, whispers of anxiety still loomed heavy in the air. Would they be brave enough to face the turmoil that threatened to engulf them? The moment they stepped into the hallway, the air felt thick, almost electric. The echoes of shouting reached them, each word filled with pain and frustration. Emily's heart pounded in her chest, but she tightened her grip on Lily's hand. Alex adjusted his position, readying himself to be the shield for both girls. They crept forward, the distance stretching between them and the living room where the chaos erupted. The voices were wild, a dissonant orchestra that drowned out any hopeful thoughts. Emily glanced at Alex, who shifted his jaw, muscles tense with determination. He knew they had to dive in and confront the noise that rattled their home. Stay close to me, all right? He whispered to Lily, who nodded, her small hand clinging tightly to his. There was a flicker of courage in her eyes, a reflection of the strength Alex hoped to instill in her. Each step echoed, bouncing off the cold walls as heavy thuds reverberated in the background. We're here for each other, Alex declared, trying to keep his own fear at bay. We can face this together. But as they rounded the corner, chaos painted a heart-wrenching picture before them. Their parents stood at either end of the living room, voices raised like thunderclaps, expressions twisted in anger and sorrow, the very walls closing in around them with tension. Lily gasped softly, her voice barely a whisper, they look so lost. Emily felt a pang in her chest. Her instinct was to retreat, to shield herself from the harsh reality unfolding in front of them. But they had come this far, they had to try. She stepped forward, clenching her fists as if to gather strength. We can help, she murmured under her breath. Lily, we need to do this, Alex replied. Let us show them how love looks when it's shaking at its core. With that, he took a deep breath and marched into the fray, the girls following closely behind. Mom! Dad! He shouted, his voice ringing with an authority that contrasted with the chaos. It instantly grabbed their attention. Both parents turned, surprise flashing across their faces. The shouting halted momentarily, leaving behind an unbearable weight of silence. What are you kids doing here? Their mother asked, her voice softer, tinged with worry. We want to talk to you. Lily piped up, cutting through the tense silence like a beacon of hope. Their father's brows furrowed, concern swiftly replacing anger. Now is not the time, sweetheart. It's too complicated. It is complicated, Lily replied, her voice strong despite her small stature. But we love each other and that matters. Please. Let us show you. Emily watched as her sister stepped forward, her tiny frame radiating a mature understanding that belied her age. She could hear the trembling hope in Lily's voice, a gentle plea that resonated through the room. "Just listen," Alex added, taking Lily's lead. "When we were in the other room, we remembered that love is what binds us. You might be lost for a moment, but we want to help you find your way back." Their mother's resolute expression softened, tears glistening in her eyes. "You don't understand, it's hard for us. What if we take a step together?" "Let us just try," Emily offered, her heart pounding in her chest. "No matter what a fight feels like, you can still find each other." The tension in the air shifted, minuscule cracks forming in the armor they had built around themselves. The awkward silence hung as they awaited an answer. But just as a flicker of vulnerability appeared on their parents' faces, another crash echoed from outside. The sudden noise jolted them back into reality, cutting through the fragile moment they sought to create. What was that? Their mother gasped, concern flooding back. Alex looked at Emily and Lily, eyes wide with urgency. "We have to stay strong. We can't let anything break our family." As the sound of chaos surged around them, a new resolve ignited in the trio. This was a moment of truth not just for their parents, but for them all. Together, they stepped closer, ready to confront the turmoil outside and within, determined to bridge the widening chasm of misunderstanding and pain. What they didn't realize was just how much strength they would need to pull not just their parents together, but their entire family. Could love cut through the noise, even in moments when everything felt lost? The chaos outside poured into the living room, drowning out everything in its wake. Alex stepped forward, his heart racing. They had taken a stand, but a storm was brewing just on the other side of their door. He felt the weight of the moment pressing on him, a mix of fear and fierce determination. "Let us go see what it is," he urged, gripping Lily's hand tighter, while Emily nodded, her resolve mirrored in her eyes. Just as they turned toward the door, their mother took a small, trembling step forward. "Please just wait," she pleaded, her voice quivering. "We need to talk first. I don't want you to see." Another loud crash reverberated outside as glass shattered, cutting her off mid-sentence. All heads turned sharply toward the door. What had been a simple fight between parents had suddenly escalated into something bigger and uncontrollable. "I can't let you go out there." Their father stepped in, his tone firm but laced with fear. "Not with this going on. You don't know what's happening." Emily watched the internal struggle on his face. "Then tell us. We're here. We want to help." Her words surged forward with a quiet intensity, forcing their parents to confront the reality they had tried to shield them from. Their mother crossed her arms, looking down at the carpet, torn between her instincts as a protector and the desire to let her kids in. "It's not safe, and it's not just noise, it's real." "What's real?" Lily exclaimed. "We can handle it. We just want our family back." There was a fire in her small voice that pushed through the heaviness, igniting something deep within the room. Silence fell again, but this time it was different. It felt lighter, brimming with unspoken fears and hopes. Their father shuffled his feet, glancing towards their mother, who wiped away a tear. "We made mistakes," he finally admitted, his voice cracking, "and now it feels like everything is falling apart." Lily, always the bold one, stepped closer to their parents. "We all make mistakes, but we can fix them. Just like you taught us." Caught off guard by her words, Emily felt her own hope flutter within her. Love can still be here. We're still here. She looked from her father to her mother, pleading for them to see what she saw: an opportunity to heal. Then came another loud bang from outside, and the flimsy walls of their world trembled. The moment of tenderness frayed. Alex's mind raced. If they didn't act, their parents might miss this moment. "Let us help. Please." Alex shouted, desperately pushing forward. "You taught us that strength doesn't mean being alone. We're not just kids anymore. We're a family, right?" Their mother's eyes glistened with unshed tears. Could they really reclaim their family from the ashes of turmoil? With every second, the chaos outside threatened to drown out the love they had fought for. Stepping back just a fraction, she nodded, frail but determined. "You're right. But it starts with us." As they all moved close together, hands clasped around one another, the raw vulnerability in the room was palpable. It was a moment of unity. Yet, a muffled shout erupted from outside once again, followed by a new sound: sirens. Lily's grip tightened, her breath catching. What's happening out there? The question hung in the air, heavy and urgent. As the reality of their situation began to unfold, a sense of dread washed over them. This time, it wasn't just noise. This could change everything. Could this newfound strength withstand the brewing storm, or would it plunge them deeper into chaos? The sounds outside grew louder, a cacophony of chaos that clawed at the edges of their fragile moment. Alex could feel his heart in his throat. This was more than an argument, it was the world breaking apart. "Stay here," their father said, his voice wavering as he took a breath. It felt like he was trying to hold the entire family together with sheer will. "I'll go see." He glanced back toward the door, and Alex could see the conflict in his eyes, the desire to protect them and the urge to shield them from the horrors outside. "Dad! You can't go out there alone." Emily's voice was sharp, cutting through the tension. "Oh, please don't leave us." Lily whimpered, her small hand still wrapped tightly around Alex's. Their mother squeezed Lily's shoulder, her affectionate touch a small anchor in the storm. "We're not leaving anyone behind," she whispered, the softness of her voice dimming the fear swirling around them. "But we need to stick together." Another crash echoed outside, followed by angry shouts. It felt like the world was on fire, and they were trapped in the middle. But even as fear wrapped around them, a sense of unity began to ignite. They were a team, a family. "Let us remember what we talked about," Alex said, taking a deep breath, his heart pounding louder than the chaos outside. "Strength is in numbers, right? We can face this together." Emboldened by his words, Emily nodded firmly. "We can't let this break us. We've been through worse as a family. Remember the time we almost lost Dad in that car accident? But we got through it together." Her father's eyes softened, staring at his children through the veil of fear. It was as if her words opened a small window of light in his heavy heart. "Yes," their mother added gently, "and we learned to lean on each other. That's what families do." For a moment, the warmth of their shared memories pushed back against the cold shadows creeping in from outside. But a howl from the street shook them from their reverie, the urgency palpable. "We need to make a choice," Alex said, meeting his siblings' gaze. "Either we sit here and let fear control us, or we step out there together." Lily's eyes shone with determination. "I don't want to be scared anymore. If we go out together, we can face anything." "Okay," their father finally said, drawing in a shaky breath. "But we have to stay together. No matter what." As they linked hands, the tremors of doubt faded. The connection brought strength they all craved. They shared a moment of silent understanding, they were ready to step into the unknown together. With unsteady breaths, they approached the door. Alex could hear the sirens increasing in urgency and the distant shouts became clearer. His pulse raced, every instinct told him to turn back, to hide away from the chaos. But he couldn't let that fear win, not now. A loud thud jolted them forward. Their hearts pounded in unison as their mother slowly opened the door, the creaking hinge mingling with the shouts and sirens. Bright lights washed over them. The chaos beyond transformed into a wicked whirlwind, but amidst the turmoil, something caught Alex's eye, a figure hunched and upset not too far from their front yard. Another shout erupted into a scream, piercing through the air. As they stepped out, the scene unfolded in front of them like an uninvited storm, civilians running, police shouting, and then an older boy, collapsed on the ground, his face pale and lifeless. Everything inside Alex twisted, and he knew in that moment how far chaos could reach. "We have to help him," he shouted instinctively, but even as his feet moved, uncertainty pricked at him. What could they do? What could a family like theirs offer in the face of such despair? And yet, as he looked to his siblings, he saw reflected in them the strength they shared. Could that love be enough to pull another back from the edge? Could it really change everything? In that instant, hope flickered like a candle struggle against the wind, urging them to act. Alex stepped forward, his heart pounding like a drum in his chest. His instincts drove him to help, to reach for the fallen boy, and as he turned towards his siblings, he saw not just fear, but encouragement shining in their eyes. "Let us go," he called, the urgency of the moment fueling his resolve. They raced toward the boy, leaving their chaotic world behind for a moment, united with one goal: to reach out when it mattered most. "Do you know him?" Lily asked, her voice barely a whisper. Alex shook his head, but he felt the ache in his heart grow heavier. "No, but it doesn't matter. He needs us." The crowd that had gathered felt thick like a suffocating fog, confusion and anxiety swirling around them. As they reached the boy, he lay on the grass, his eyes closed, breaths shallow. Emily dropped to her knees beside him, immediately checking for any signs of life, her small hands trembling. "Are you okay?" she called out, her voice laced with fear, but tinged with strength. Slowly, the boy's eyelids flickered open, confusion crossing his face. "Wah!" he mumbled, and Alex felt a rush of relief flood through him. "Stay strong," Lily urged softly, moving to cradle his hand. "We're here. You're not alone." In that fragile moment, something shifted within the crowd. Where confusion had once reigned, the depth of connection began to forge itself among the strangers surrounding them. People stepped closer, some offering water, others murmuring comfort, their voices a tender backdrop to Alex's family's fervent commitment to help. "We can get you help," Alex spoke earnestly, looking the boy in the eye. "You're going to be okay. Just hold on." The atmosphere thickened with urgency, but a new sense of unity broke through, as people joined in support, calling for assistance from paramedics. But the boy's focus waned, darkness creeping back in around the edges of his consciousness. "No one cares about me," he whispered, and Alex felt that sting of lost hope pierce through him. "Hey! That's not true." His voice rang out louder now. "Don't you dare say that. You matter, your life matters. Just look around you. We're all here." Then, an unexpected surge of voices joined his, strangers crying out in agreement, affirming the worth of a life. It was as if, in that moment, they became more than just individuals, they became a community, a family, standing together in the face of turmoil. Before he could stop himself, Alex leaned in closer, fueled by desperation. "You can't give up. Please, just hold on a little longer. We love you, and we're not leaving." The boy blinked, hope flickering in his eyes. He seemed to search for the truth in Alex's words. "You really care?" "Yes." Alex insisted, his heart soaring alongside his words. "We're family, and family means sticking together no matter what." A siren wailed in the distance, and the crowd began to shift as help finally arrived. Alex felt a rush of relief mingled with fear. "You'll be okay," he reassured the boy, squeezing Lily's hand just as tightly as he gripped the boy's. As paramedics hastened to their side, they reached out, taking the boy's other hand. "What's his name?" one of them called out. "James." Alex shouted, desperation lacing his voice. "His name is James, and he's going to be okay." As the paramedics began to assess him, Emily's gaze flicked to their parents, who stood at a distance, emotions playing across their faces. Fear, pride, and love all mingled together. Their mother finally stepped forward, tears streaming down her cheeks. "What you've done, it's beautiful," she whispered, awe evident in her voice. "You've reminded me of what really matters." In that moment, something shifted among their family. The fear that held them captive began to dissolve, replaced by a sense of purpose shared between them. The cracks repaired, the shadows lifting. As the paramedics lifted James onto a stretcher, Alex locked eyes with Emily and Lily, their heartbeats synchronized like a drumline. "We did this. Together." "Yes." Lily beamed, her spirit reignited, and they stood united, a testament to love's resilience. As the sirens drove away into the distance, something clicked deep within Alex. Love can heal. They had seen it. They held the power to break down walls, rebuild connections, and nurture those who felt lost. With every step they took back home, arms tightly entwined, they felt the warmth radiating through them. They were no longer just a family, no longer just their parents' children. They were each other's anchors, unwavering islands in a turbulent sea. And as they walked, the darkness faded, leaving only the light, hope glowing bright against the horizon of the unknown. This was only the beginning. You need to subscribe now to join us for the next incredible story where true love transcends. This is the moment to show your support. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and let your voice be heard. Comment your reactions and feelings about this powerful ending, because your thoughts matter. And for the sake of connection, share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation, reminding them that love conquers all. Don't wait not even one more second to share, because only true fans understand the importance of supporting the channel through these actions.